So I'm flying tomorrow from the US back to India, and I assume that my flight will reach safely to India. That is my prayer and that is my hope. And that was also the hope of those who were in the ill-fated Air India. No one assumes that there will be a crash. Because a crash, a aeroplane accident, a plane accident, the probability of a plane accident is much lower compared to any other mode of transport. It's the safest mode of transport. But life is uncertain. Life is so uncertain. We don't know. We go on a vacation, we can get killed. Those folks who are sitting, those doctors who are sitting and eating food, they didn't know that they would die. Life is so uncertain and it can happen anywhere. But your plan, your financial plan should be certain because those who you leave behind, your family, your family needs those finances. Whatever you may say, no one can replace you. I understand. Emotional the vacuum, nobody can replace. But there is an alternative for the finances. Or you as the breadwinner, whether a man or a woman, if you were the main source of income, there will be a replacement. There must be an alternative. And thankfully, we have something called the term insurance. Not the endowment plans, not the whole life policy, not ULIPs, not guaranteed income, but term insurance. And this is exactly what we all need. And I'll be talking briefly about this today. What happened with Air India and all those who perished. It's one of the saddest day for people in India. It hurts. But there is nothing we can do. This is beyond anybody. Even the pilots could not do anything. But friend, after you or I are gone, our family needs that financial support. And that's what I'll be talking. Hi, I am Franky Fernandes. I am a certified financial planner and I'm also a marriage coach. My goal is to help young families, especially young families in their 30s, so that you have all the required financial plan which will keep you and your family protected. Yes, we always would like to hear about growing wealth, enjoying a wealth in retirement, but there are some who may also go through this. I know it is very unpleasant to talk about it, to think about it. Nevertheless, it is extremely important because there are uncertainties in life. Death, hospitalization, or emergencies are uncertain. But your financial plan should be certain. The probability of you dying or getting hospitalized is very, very low. 1 in 10, 1 in 100, 1 in million. But the consequences, the magnitude of the consequences are very high. Hence, you must have a plan. And that's what we're going to see today. When we talk about financial planning for families, there are two parts to this. In fact, there are three parts to this. One is a spending plan. Second is a risk plan. And third is the investment plan. And I often also talk about the investment plan. There are times when I've also talked about budgeting and spending plan. I've also made a video on the risk plan. But this video, I want to specially talk about insurance, that is term insurance. So why is a term insurance or a life insurance so important? I know it's very unpleasant. We don't want to talk about, we don't want to think about it. In fact, in many of my seminars that I have conducted live, most families do not have a life insurance, a term insurance. They have a lot of LIC policies, they have a lot of ULIPs, but that is not sufficient. What you need is a term insurance. A term insurance is where you pay a very low premium, like 10, 15,000, maybe at if you're a 30-year-old male, a healthy male, but you get a big cover like 1 crore. And it's very important, as I just said, that it's uncertain. The probability is low, but if it happens, then what? I do not want to see my family struggle for finances. And that's why when I was younger, I bought a term insurance of 1 crore then. And because I knew that I did not have a big enough corpus, and if anything happened to me, my family would struggle. And I don't want. And that's the unique thing about this insurance. If you're a husband, if you care, if you love your family, and of course, this is also applicable to wives, what you should do is you must buy a term insurance, because anything happens to you, your family gets crore, 2 crores, a big sum. And why it is important? If you are the breadwinner, just imagine, and we have seen that a lot during COVID. If you are the breadwinner, if you die, what happens? Your family will grieve for you. You cannot be replaced. So emotionally, no one can fill the gap. It'll take time. But just imagine, they don't have money. Where will your family go? Where will your wife go? Where will your children go? They have to then depend on others, or your wife will have to put in her best. And then, if she's not working, look for a job. And even if she's working, if she has a low salary, she has to take care of the children's education, their marriage. Maybe you purchased a house, there is the EMI for your house. Maybe you purchased a car, there's an EMI. There are many things that happen. So emotionally, no one can replace you. But financially, definitely there can be an alternative. And that is what is an insurance. And very, very important. I urge you, young men, please do not underestimate. And number two, do it when you are healthy. I know many young men in their 40s cannot buy a term insurance. You know why? Because they've certain illnesses, like probably high diabetes, or they had mental health issues, or some heart ailment, or whatever. Now, when they go to buy the term insurance, it's very expensive. Number one, a lot of insurers do not give term insurance. You cannot buy a term insurance. They do not want to have a term insurance with them, because according to them, the probability of you dying or leaving this world is higher. So it's very important, number one, that you must have a term insurance. Number two, do it when you are in your 30s. The day you get married, you must have a term insurance. Many years I worked for companies that had term insurance. But again, if or when you lose your job, or when you switch jobs, what happens if you died? Just imagine, there are young families, young husbands who are in the flight Air India which crashed. Now, if they do not have a term insurance, what happens? One lady, one young woman, a mother with a small baby. What if there is no term insurance? What happens? It's a tough life. But if there was probably a crore or 2 crores, then at least she has the money. She doesn't have to worry that, hey, I have to look for a job, leave my daughter, and I have to look for a job. I have to work hard. I have to make money. Many women are doing that. Many women during COVID have done that. Yes, family members, or maybe your church, or your relatives, or your people from your community, your faith might help you. But how much? They can't give you a crore or 2 crores. So you must have it when you are healthy. The first is that you must have a term insurance. Not anything else, not an LIC policy or ULIP or whatever, a pure term insurance where the premium is low and the cover is very high. Number two, buy it when you're young. Number three, buy a term insurance where you pay the premium probably up to 60, 65 years, or maybe max 70. Nothing beyond that. In fact, buy a policy, buy a term insurance where you pay your premium annually. Do not go for a one-time premium could be very high, or go for a term insurance which will be for the 80, 85 years. You don't need. What is the concept of a term insurance? Term insurance is when, if anything happens to you, your family has enough corpus. And this happens when you are young. When you're in your 30s or maybe in your 40s, you don't have a big corpus. You're building your corpus. So you do not have money. By the time you're 50, 60, you don't really need a term insurance. For example, I'm in my early 50s. Right now, I don't need a term insurance, but I continuing my term insurance because the premium is very low and there is no harm. Maybe after a few years, I may just stop because my term insurance is I pay the premium till 65 years. So you don't need a term insurance where you have to pay to 80, 85 years. Those term insurances are expensive. So go for a term insurance which is low premium where you pay until you are 60, 65 years. That way you save on your premium. And maybe in your 50s or 60s, if you feel you've made enough corpus, you don't need to pay that premium. Or you can, in fact, you can invest that premium and actually build wealth. But it's up to you. Talk to a financial advisor, can help you, but don't go for a insurance where you have to pay a premium beyond 65, 70 years. Number four, if you have bought the term insurance, ensure that your wife and your children, if they have grown up, like my kids, late teens and 20s, I have told them explicitly this is the insurance provider, and I've got the original documents which I've given it to my wife. I have told her this is where it is, and she's kept it safely because anything happens to me, she knows where it is. In fact, she knows that there's a term insurance. So, friends, tell your wife that there is a term insurance. I heard about a story where during COVID, the husband had purchased a term insurance and the wife didn't know. But then the financial advisor, he came and he actually told this wife that he is actually bought a term insurance for you for 2 crores. And the wife was in tears. She she wept. Two things. One thing is she remembered her husband. Second is she thanked her husband for being so caring to her. So please inform your spouse where it is. Because I remember a close friend of mine, he died. His wife didn't know where were the policies. She didn't have any idea. So don't do that. Please inform your wife and your children if they have grown up. Now your question will be, how much should be the term insurance? A rule of thumb where it is said that it should be at least 15 to 20 times of your annual salary. For example, if you are earning maybe 10 lakhs per annum, so 15 or 20 times could be 2 crores, right? Or if you're earning maybe 25 lakhs, or maybe if you're earning 20 lakhs, then it is like 20 or 15 times, it could be around 3 crores. Now, this is just a ballpoint number. It's just an approximate number to easily find out what could be. Now, why is it that it is said 15 to 20 times of your annual salary? Simple. Your expenses are based on your annual salary. And after you go away, your family has to maintain that standard of living. Based on your salary, you computed the children's education, their marriage, or maybe a house, and very important, your retirement. That means your spouse's retirement will depend on your expenses, which are in turn a factor of your annual salary. But that is just a ballpoint number. But I would say if you are a 30-year-old earning anywhere between 50,000 to a lakh, go for minimum a crore, assuming that you can afford the premium. For example, if you're earning a lakh per month, and after deductions, probably you may be getting some 85,000. 15,000 could be your annual premium, which is doable if you do not have too many EMIs, or if if you're not a huge spender, but you are good at saving, you can easily buy a crore policy. So a crore, 1.5, 2 crores, 3 crores. It depends on how much premium you can pay. Now, you can start with probably 50 lakhs. Maybe you are unable to pay a huge premium. Start with the 50 lakhs. And then later on, when your salary grows and you believe that your standard of living has gone up, increase your term insurance. You can increase. You can add to your existing term insurance. So that way you're protected. but start with a minimum, maybe a 25 lakh or a 50 lakh. If your salary is low, start with at least a 25 lakh. I know a family where during COVID the husband died and he had lost his job, and he was working for an NGO, a very low salary, and he bought a car, second hand car, but he did not have a term insurance. And when he died, his wife and children did not have anything except probably that car and maybe a few lakhs. If he had at least 25 lakhs, for that the premium could have been probably at his age, maybe 15, 20,000, whatever. That could have been good. Per annum, at least his family could have had that. So start with a small number, but have a term insurance. 25 lakh, 50 lakh, and then gradually keep increasing it so that your family is covered. Basically, what you're covering is that if you leave this world, that corpus can be invested and the interest can be used for daily living, plus a money, the part of that money which would grow, and you could withdraw it for your children's education, and then even later on when it grows you can withdraw for their marriage, and then that money will be available for you for your retirement, for your wife's retirement, right? So this should be your plan. So we have seen a few things. One thing is have a term insurance, a small premium but a huge cover. Second is you buy it when you are young and when you are healthy. Third, you should pay the premium or the term insurance, the maturity should be somewhere around 65 or max 70. Fourth is how much should be the cover. And then also keep your family informed. Let them know where you have, what is the policy and where you have saved it. So these are all very important part of any family. I have done families, several family seminars and seminars on money. Many families do not have. Do you have a term insurance? I know a lot of them have their company sponsored, but if you lose your job, you don't have that cover. Same goes with your health insurance. Probably I'll do a little more, a little deeper or a detailed one on health insurance very soon. But with this tragedy that we all have witnessed in the last couple of days, I thought this is appropriate for us to remind us. It's a reminder, it's a stark reminder for all of us that we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared, especially for our family. While we are gone, those who remain, we want to see them happy. We want to ensure that they are as comfortable as they can. Right? Don't you want your family to be comfortable while you are there and while you are not there? So it's your responsibility out of your love. A bit of hope this was a reminder for you. I know all of us know about this. I hope this was a reminder, and very specially to all those young folks, especially those who are maybe newly married or those who are married who have kids, whatever. Please buy a term insurance as soon as possible. Right? Let me know in the comment box if you have a term insurance and what made you buy the term insurance. You know what made me buy a term insurance? Because I knew that I will be leaving my job eventually, because I had the desire to do freelance and become a consultant. So 7 years before I quit my job, I actually bought a term insurance. So what is it that made you buy the term insurance, and what is it that will make you buy a term insurance? Let me know in the comments. And if you are new to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe, because my goal is to help young families. Help young families build their wealth and also their relationship. Because I believe the biggest wealth, the greatest wealth is relationships. And if you have enough wealth with you, material wealth, it will help you and you will be able to help many others. See you soon. Bye bye.